What's up, y'all? It's Nate Almighty, aka the Global Dark Skin Ambassador, and I'm back with another Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4 Theory and Prediction video. Now, let's talk about the top 8 biggest savages in Power Book 2 Ghost. Starting with number 8, and the way I rank this system is based off of not only the number of kills that these people have, but the way they act within their regular actions, regular daily actions that we've seen them do, and also the potential and what we can assume off of what they've already done. So, without further ado, let's start with number 8. And at number 8, we got Effie. Now, Effie is going to be number 8 because we don't know her backstory. We don't know what happened to her brother, even though I think that she may have had something to do with her brother's death, even if it was by mistake. But the reason why I even have her on this list as a savage is because she was tough enough to cross three times. And the very third time she crossed him, she was busting at him. Now, you gotta be somewhat of a savage to bust at somebody who you just framed. She is tough for that. She's a gangster for that. She's a snake, but she's a savage snake. And at number 7, we have Braden. Now, the reason why Braden is not high on this list is because Braden just started his savagery. He's only caught one body for sure, maybe even 2. If season 4 starts and they say that Braden took down Noma's henchman, which was the tall white dude who went down when Braden first started shooting. So that would count as 2 bodies, right? So Braden is going to be somebody who, when it's all said and done, within the Power Book 2 Ghost universe, he'll probably be top 2 or 3 when it's all said and done, because he's on his way to being very, very, very deadly. Especially with him advancing in the game, taking the game more serious. We don't know if he's going to have a sadistic, nihilist side. We don't know yet, but it's on the way. A lot of savagery is heading for Braden within Power Book 2 Ghost. And we're going to see that really develop in Season 4. Next, moving up, we have Drew. Drew's savagery is on a high level, okay? We've seen Drew catch multiple bodies, multiple savage bodies. For instance, when he could have shot the guap, because the guap was very, very disrespectful. Instead of shooting the guap, what'd he do? Choked him to death. Choking someone to death out of anger is more savage than shooting them. Because you got to get real close, you got to get in their face, and you got to make it do what it do. Also, when Lorenzo first came home, and Lorenzo took Drew to gain some power and take out some people who Lorenzo used to run with. Okay? When they busted in the room and Drew caught that body, Drew did not hesitate. He put that work in immediately. Also, when Drew was mad, first off, Drew was gonna kill Everett. Now, for the life of him, he couldn't at that moment. Even though I feel like he may still be the cause of Everett's death later on, by mistake, by association. But he loved Everett, and he was still going to take him out for the family. And if Lorenzo pushed him enough, he would have done it. Then you got the savage body he caught when Everett broke up with him. And then the drug dealer who was in the Weston's financial building. When Drew was very, very upset and came outside, and he just pushed the man right into the street to get ran over by a truck. That's savagery at its finest, y'all. Drew is a problem. Even though I feel like he's not going to make it past Season 4, he's a problem. And he's going to catch several bodies in very savage, critical ways before Season 4 is over. So next on the list, you got Kane. Now, Kane is someone who I was going to put him higher on the list, but for reasons that I'll explain later on, I could not put him no higher than the 3 people who are ahead of him. But we know how savage Kane is. And when we talk about the savagery list, we're not talking about just kills. We're talking about just savage things that have been done. Now, Kane is a brazen man. He literally swindled Braden and then went to Stansfield to frame Tariq for a murder. Also, Kane is somebody who, back in Season 1, He would have killed the police officer if the police officer got too close and Ramirez didn't save them by distracting the police officer. And then Cain actually killed Ramirez, the police officer. And then also, Cain is somebody who, he chops up bodies. So when he killed Uncle Frank Castillo, and he chopped up his body, and no one found his body parts, maybe no one ever will. You know, he already uncovered one of his bodies, so the writers may not have anyone discover Frank Castillo's body. They could always use it as a plot device later on and bring it up. But this man is someone who is very savage and smarter than Drew. Smarter than Drew. Okay? This person is very, very savage. And he's down to do anything for his family. And he's smart now. He's calculated. He's been through a lot. He's seen a lot. Next, moving up on the list. And I know earlier I said there was 3 people ahead of Cain, but really there's 4 people ahead of Cain. Let's talk about Diana. Yes, I know Diana never caught a body. Diana is further ahead of Cain on this list because of the potential. The potential of her. The potential because she is Monet's daughter. Therefore, she has a chance to be an even greater savage than Monet. And if she has kids, we really see that. Also, this is somebody who, like Drew, she forged a plan to kill her own mother and have the killer killed by her brother and then take that lie to the grave. Mind you, she wanted to have Tariq killed by Cain. Tariq is the first person who she ever slept with. Now that's savagery on another level. You have the person who you gave your body to first. You know what kind of attachment women are supposed to have to the person who they lose their virginity to. And to cross him over twice after that, including lie and say that he shot her mother, have Cain and everyone shoot at him, Tariq would be dead right now because of Drew, Diana, and Effie. If it wasn't for Braden and Obi coming to save his damn life. These are facts. These are facts. Now, as we move up on the list, these last 3 could be interchangeable. Either one of these last 3 could be 3, 2, or 1, depending on who you are. So, in the comment section, if you disagree, let me know in what order you feel like are the top 8 savages, right? But at number 3, I have Noma. Now, we didn't even see Noma in every single episode last season, but we all have to understand that Noma was Mecca's boss. And even though Mecca was the goat of global snitching, he also was a savage. Mecca is somebody who, he killed the chef for betraying him, knowing it was Cain who did it, just because he wanted to have Monet and Zeke in the end. The first time we see Noma cut off a woman's whole entire arm just to get the ring back. The next time we see Noma, she kills a woman right in front of Cain, Braden, and Tariq. She's definitely a savage. She earns her ranking at number 3. Next, number 2. At number 2, we have Tariq, okay? We have Tariq for what he's done, and we have Tariq for what we know he's going to do in the future as he wises up and becomes smarter in the game. Now, let's just do a history of Tariq's criminal history. Now, not necessarily his criminal history, but his kills and the way they came about. So, everyone knows his first body was Ray Ray. He killed Ray Ray at about 15 years old for killing Raina. Savagery at his best. Next, he was manipulated by Tasha and Angela, but he ends up setting up Cain. Cain dies, and in the process of that, 2-3 police officers die. Okay? So that makes Tariq already responsible for the death of like 5 people by 15, 16 years old. Savagery at its finest, people. Then you go into Power Book 2 Ghost. You have Tariq in his first season. He kills Jabari because Jabari knows too much and he was doing too much. And he deserved to die. based off of Power Universe logistics. Everyone earns their death. So, after Kane pops Jabari, Tariq pops him 2 more times. And that second time was to make sure he was dead. So Tariq is somebody who, he's not stupid. He wants to make sure you die. He wants to make sure you cannot remain alive and then point him out and put him in jail. And then you keep going. The whole entire season 2, Tariq catches 0 bodies. You get to season 3, the very first episode, Tariq catches his first extremely emotional body, which hopefully isn't a telltale sign that he'll be making catching more emotional bodies in the future, because that's where you make mistakes. And even his first body, you can arguably say it was an emotional body, even though it was calculated to a certain point, but he made a mistake and left his DNA at the scene, which definitely could have wrapped him up. Also, mind you, I forgot to say how he killed Ghost, but because it's up in the air and everyone still want to speculate, I didn't necessarily say that. But you move on to when Tariq killed the leader of the Russians to protect Braden, right? And he saved Braden's life because Braden was hesitating. Braden was going to get his wig pushed back further than Tyra Banks' hairline. And you seen the precision Tariq had. You seen how he rose to action. He did not hesitate. He didn't give a moment's hesitation. He seen Braden was about to get killed. He sprung into action, pulled out his gun, popped the Russian, went about his business. Now, it's yet to see if there were cameras or anything showing that body. But you can see that from his first body all the way up to then, Tariq has become a cold-blooded killer. Okay? And then, when you have Tariq, who was definitely ready to kill Monet, may have shot Monet if Obi didn't stop him and tell him to get back in good graces with Noma. And then when you seen him put on that mask and those gloves, and he was ready to kill Monet again before Tasha came. And then you go to, right before that, when Tariq had the drop on Tommy. Tommy was lacking. Tariq would have killed Tommy. There would be no season 2 of Power Book Full Force. Tariq does not play any games. And if you would have put him at number 1, I would understand. But without further ado, at number 1, I have Monet. Because Monet is a savage on a whole nother level. Monet is a savage on a whole entire level now. Monet is a queen bee. And when you start from season 1, Monet individually has caught more bodies than everyone. Now let's go through some of them, and if I forget any, y'all let me know in the comment section, right? So now, overall, I feel like Monet has probably caught between 5 to 8 bodies, okay? She had Lorenzo killed. She had Gordo killed, who I forgot to mention when I was talking about Drew, that she was the catalyst for that. She got Kai killed, okay? She killed that Guap, assuming he killed Zeke, okay? She set up a devious plan involving Diana to kill Detective Whitman. Detective Whitman definitely earned that body. How about the very savage way she killed Professor Milgram, who I really wanted to see some more of because, you know, she's super duper fine. She hung Professor Milgram and made it look like it was an intentional self-erasure. Let's not forget, she killed accidentally the construction worker who she thought stole the money out of her safe, which actually Diana did in order to help Lorenzo come home. She really didn't believe that man, or maybe she just felt like she didn't have no choice but to kill him because she thought it could only be him, because she didn't expect Diana to do what she did. Then you got DC Joe. DC Joe definitely earned that death. And then the plug of DC Joe, whose name I forgot, because up until that episode, everyone thought he was going to be a recurring character, but he wasn't. Monet ended up just taking him out. And mind you, we still don't know if anyone from that organization will come back against the Tejadas. The Tejadas have like 6, 7, 8 potential enemies. Monet is a savage. And then when you think about it all, there's always a possibility that she may kill one of her kids or kill Tasha for shooting her. It's all in the air still. Ultimately, I feel like it will be Monet and Tasha together, pulling the trigger on Noma, putting her away so they can save their children. But there you have it, man. The top 8 savages in order in Power Book 2 Ghosts. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.